filthy type, they fell apart and they weren't able to establish control as attackers. They weren't able to lock down the defenders and control the pace of play. It was definitely Aura saying, "This is how this match is going to go. You guys are you guys are going to attack at this time, and we're going to control how you want to make those pushes." And I feel like as an attacking team, especially on a map like Border, you have to be the ones that are controlling the pace of play.
That's very true. So that was also a very poor shutdown from it was a very poor shutdown. A very great shutdown, I should say, actually, from Aura. They were able to win 5 in a row. And I think Aura's just trying to they need to take a bit of a break real quick.
They say, yo, give me a second. Let's get ourselves together. We'll carry this into the next one.
It's almost it's a bit confusing to me that Chipsy Guac are ready to go into the next one without talking to each other, without having some kind of game plan. And again, with Trissa not here, it's a bit frustrating, I guess, on their side to not be able to calm things down, not able to think things through, try to figure out what went wrong, because you lost 5 rounds in a row on your attacks. And it's almost as if they're playing it didn't, not necessarily tilted, I guess, but just when it came down to the execute, they didn't have the right angles to hold. Either that or they just got gunned off the face of the game.
I mean, if you're a fighting game player and somebody hits you with a close game 1 and then perfects you in game 2, you don't immediately go into round number 2, or you had the close game 1 or round 1, its last hit, and then round 2 they perfect you. You don't go into game 2 immediately. You take a second to level yourself and you say, look, I was close, I was doing something right, so I'm not gonna let this guy run a train over me again. I just need to figure out what I got to change up. And I think that if Chipsy Guac took a second to do that for themselves, they'd be in a prime position. But Aura's sort of doing that for them.
Yeah, so it looks like both teams are ready to go. And we'll be moving on to Coastline here. And let me just double check. Let me just go ahead and update that real quick. Let me reset the Aura with the 1 update. Operator bans will be coming out very soon. So Chipsy Guac are going to be banning first, and this is going to be Coastline. So Coastline, some people say you don't necessarily need a hard breacher, but in my opinion, it's always nice to have at least a Hibana on the board to breach stuff.
I fully agree. I'll put it to you this way: Coastline is not a map that necessitates a thermite, and I think that in a lot of ways, a Hibana is certainly more useful. A lot of the sites give you open sight lines into them from non-hard breached walls, but you want to look at certain sites such as Penthouse, which is unfortunately not a very good site. But let's be real. Let's be real. Defenders don't want to defend Penthouse, but especially if you looked at Hookah Lounge, right? Certainly not necessary to have a hard breacher to get into the site and get the plant down, but you can always have a Hibana on the roof to shoot those XK-Rust pellets onto the wall into billiards, and then you can lock down the anchors. And for a team like Chipsy Guac, who want to shut down a strong anchor game from Aura, that could be the kind of thing that they're looking for. Because also, to point out, you don't need a thermite because he's 2-speed, and you get the 3-speed out of the Hibana. She can also help you make the rush inside if they're in, a site like Kitchen where you definitely don't need a hard breacher. So we'll see how that works out. No hard breachers banned, and no hard breach denial banned either. In fact, what we're going to be seeing banned are, like you said, intel heavy, defender-sided meta. Mira and Maestro are both banned. I think that Mira is certainly the most common ban on Coastline, with Maestro being a huge thorn in the side of anybody as well, simply because he gets so many long lines of sight with those Spaceman helmets. But I'm talking about operators that give you long lines of sight. Glaz and Dokaibi, a sniper rifle and a DMR are off the board.
It's very true, and like you said,
Attackers need to
my opinion,
locate
I
and
think it's
defuse
best to
bombs.
ban a Maestro compared to a, compared to an Echo, because one, Maestro doesn't take as much skill compared to Echo, because with Echo, you know, you only have 30 shots, you only have 30 rounds in a mag, compared to 81, and you know,
Bomb located by attackers.
you don't have like the ability to just pre-fire every corner that you see, and then hopefully land a headshot. And also, your gadget is also not indestructible, at least according to like, you know, an explosive. But
Sure. I mean, what you're saying is that an attacker has to burn utility on a Maestro, whereas, you know, if you bring
5 seconds left before
thank you.
insertion.
as opposed to bringing an
Attackers have recovered their
IQ
diffuser.
where you're
Attackers
not
are
burning
moving to
utility,
defuse a bomb.
you're just taking away the idea of which operators you're going to use and specifying one person onto the role of, okay, shut down the yokai drones. And also the fact that they got the IQ to, now there's no echo on Gypsy Guac's defense, but the IQ will be helpful in taking down those Legion mines, finding any ADS, of course, the Valkyrie, but it's not the RED that's hunting down the Valkyrie cameras. They are hunting down the source, because Filthy is going right in to try to find Fozo. And first of all, finding that by himself, that ceiling gave it away.
it's very true. So a roam coming out from Temper and Barracuda inside of offices will cause them to fall back with Malachi. And Cloudstruck there for the walkthrough. I'm sorry, the crossfire. And that'll be Temper just trying to peek around, trying to see if he can fight Cloudstruck here, but he's getting tracked. He's gonna get pinched here very soon. This is almost certain death for Temper. There's no way of rotating.
Now it takes the well-timed push. Cloudstruck will indeed be able to find that well-timed push. I mean, like we said, 3-speed Hibana, you like that to push harder than a 2-speed Thermite, and Cloudstruck is certainly showing why. Now, meanwhile, Jaeger has also gone down, so you know, 2 roamers off the board, and so down goes Fozo. Cloudstruck
Wow.
doing an excellent job up
Attackers
until
have
right
located
then,
a
got a
bomb.
little bit too aggressive, and Zest was able to turn it around, so still certainly doable on defense at the moment.
It's very true. So with 20 left to play, that'll be Zest playing on the Cool Vibe stairs. Envy still inside of Hookah. That'll be Malachi rotating outside of Blue. And interesting to see that Cloudstruck was on the hard breach this time, but unfortunately was not able to utilize any of his utility. But he did shut down both the Legion and the Jaeger, so...
Yeah, I find it interesting that in particular Cloudstruck was on the Hibana. I think it would sort of make sense if he was the Thermite, because then he can relegate himself to that flank watch role that he's so good at. But the fact that he went to the Hibana and had that 3-speed unlock and was able to get in so quickly, I like seeing that he's committing a little bit more to that, you know, that quick entrance and trusting himself to land those shots, because I feel like Cloudstruck's always had really good gun skill, and now he's gonna show that off with the Hibana.
Yeah, so the IQ of Goni is aggressively pushing in here. Gonna go for a plant and just throw his life away as well as the diffuser. Thought it'd be a quick trade out by Effect, and it's all up to Zest in a 1v2 with 15 seconds left to play here. Malachi and Effect are trying to pinch out Zest inside of
Attackers
sight.
recovered the
Effect
bomb
will go ahead and
diffuser.
start to plant
10
the
seconds
diffuser as
remaining.
Malachi will cover from the theater hall, and Effect will pull off the diffuser and frag off Zest, and that'll be round 1 in favor of Aura, and that is actually 6 rounds in a row here for Aura.
Yeah, going back to that last map in Border, and man, you know, that comes down to the fact that they know that the operator advantage is so important when it gets down to those last 10 seconds. You know, if you're 1 attacker versus 2 defenders, then you've got a problem trying to get that diffuser down, because they can flank you at any time. But if you've got the 2 attackers to the 1 defender, you have 1 person to watch your back while you plant. And again, that's something that Aura has always done a very good job of on the offense. They've been very good at watching flanks and making sure that the primary objective stays safe. And oftentimes that's the hard breacher, but this time it's the diffuser.
Yeah, it was a bit of a questionable move right there from Goni. I think that he thought he was safe to plant the diffuser
Defenders,
in that
protect your
spot.
bombs from being
But
defused by attackers.
we'll be seeing Gypsy Guac move back into the Hookah and Villiard's bomb site.
Trying it again.
It's a bit of a rough start for Gypsy Guac.
I do wanna go back to
Bomb located by attackers.
Goni trying to plant right behind that reinforced wall, because so often that's been the popular spot for the Smoke to sit, right? Like, so especially you figure, okay, Smoke's got to be back there. That's always where he is because he can access both sites from back there, and he's in relative safety from pretty much everything except for the north side hookah window. But, you know, either way, round ended up working out for Aura. No reason to worry about the sour at the moment. It's all sweet for them.
Attacker's objective
We'll
is
see
to
if
defuse the
Chipsy
bomb.
Guac can get that savory taste back into the mix that we know chips and guacamole are so good for. Thank you, Chips and Guacamole, for existing.
So, unfortunately, I think the tilting is probably affecting Chipsy Guac right now. And it was really just a great roam clearing coming out from Aura. You know, Temper has no way to rotate up the main stairs without getting shot by CloudShuck. You know, if he peeks, he's peeking into an ACOG. And it really comes down to winning that gunfight. But we'll already be seeing Filthy making a move here. Takes down Temper, takes down Fozo!
Oh!
That'll be 2 very quick kills. Can he land the 3rd? Yes, he
A
will!
third? No
Onto
way!
Zest! Can he find the 4th onto the smoke above? This is turning very south for Chipsy Guac. As Filthy finds 3 very quick frags, and Malachi finds the 4th onto Barracuda, and this is a disaster for Chipsy Guac in the first minute, losing 4 out of 5 members
Attackers have located a bomb.
downstairs.
He talked about how the tilting can be so bad for these guys on Chipsy Guac, and I think that definitely shows because the roams have gotten so incredibly aggressive that a team like Aura that doesn't rely on drones to take down the roamers, that they normally just rely on gun skill to do so, they've been able to shut them down. But we'll see if they can shut down Envy, who misses the shots. Cloudstruck once again able to watch the flanks and support his teammates, and eventually is able to take down the smoke that he knows over on that cool vibe stairs area. And once again, the Aura train keeps on rolling, Chris.
This is really, really bad if you're on Chipsy Guac's side. You've lost 8 rounds in a row to Aura. And unfortunately, you know, due to this not being a LAN event, you can't call a timeout and talk amongst yourselves. But, you know, you got to do that during the operator pick phase, during the prep phase, and even during the beginning of the round. But it was just really unfortunate to see 3 members of Chipsy Guac just fall victim to Filthy on that single push through Pink Bar.
By attackers.
Again, because they fell down to that one single push, it's because they had so many people sticking together on that hard roam that they all kind of wanted that glory to turn around the game. And instead, it's Filthy getting glory with a 3K, and I mean, you're getting a 4K too, like that 4. And sometimes that is the way it turns around, and maybe a turnaround is what we can expect from Chipsy Guac, because remember back on Border, they lost the first 2 and then turned it all the way around. Or, that's incorrect. Sorry. That's what happened to Chipsy Guac. And maybe they need to make that happen for themselves. Maybe it's a possibility, and maybe they tilt so hard that they start becoming successful, but you know, that's generally not what happens, especially on defense. Like I said, it's that self-destructive roam game that ends up making that appearance.
Alright, so we're seeing both Fozo and Zest playing around the couches area, and as well as Barracuda. So, I don't know who, yeah, so that'll be Goni repelling outside of that singular window by the couches. And with the Vigilant play, Fozo could be met very soon with Goni, that IQ scanner.
Again, hard roam game. A lot of people in the same area as each other. That's why Filthy ran a train last time, and it looks like he may be ready to start it again, because 1 roamer down on the Vigil. Once again, Filthy is so disgusting with that Jackal.
It's very true. So Zest will rotate out of luggage built into Aquarium, given that Goni was unrepelled that singular window. CloudShuck running out, trying to find exactly where Zest is hiding, but Barracuda will find one onto Filthy, shutting down the hot man. Coming out from Aura. Temper with 1 onto Goni, so that's 2 members falling here for Aura.
And now that the IQ is down as well, that means that, you know, in theory, the intel would still be there. Not enough or anything there affected. And getting peeked out, but the peaks are working out from Malachi right now as he's able to take down Zest. That's the dot gone, so No more healing for these guys on defense. He sees a foot, so now he knows that somebody is out in that service area. That would be Barracuda, who's already gotten a frag, but could be looking down the barrel of a frag himself.
It's very true. With a minute 15 left to play, it's evened out at 3v3. And the attack is stalled out here for Aura. See if they can get anything going, but with mute jammers still in play and no Thatcher available,
See you on the other side.
that wall is going to be very hard to open up. Maybe we'll see. And with Goni actually gone, it'll be tough for Aura to be able to open up that wall. But Barracuda finds one onto Affected with that C4, so it's now a 2v3. Unfortunate situation for the attackers. With Cloudstruck and Malachi still in play. This, with at least with these two available alive, I think they can win it out.
Definitely possible, but
Clear.
we'll see if slowing down the pace of the game will work out for Chipsy Guac. 30 seconds left on the clock, and the attack is still only just now opened up those walls. So we'll see how they're able to repel the attack. First of all, those toxic babes are going to do wonders for keeping them out and forcing them to rotate elsewhere. And it would be down to just Malachi if he can take down Temper, but Temper will get 2 quick kills at the end of the match. And finally, Chipsy Guac will stop the skid and nail their first victory since their first set on Border. Like that's a while, man.
Yeah, since Chipsy Guac rotated to defense, they have not been able to win a single round. But 9 rounds later, they finally land one in their pocket. And this is also Chipsy Guac's map.
It's their pick. I mean, unsurprising to see them get a W on the defense. And again, you know, on Border, we saw 2 victories in the first round and then a quick 4 comeback from Aura. That's what I'm saying, man. You know, maybe Chipsy Guac can make that turnaround happen.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
So, man, as we get into round number 4, we are back on the second floor. We're going to give Hookah and Billiards another spin.
The third try.
Yeah, saying, okay, now that we won, maybe now that we got our confidence back, we're not totally shattered by these guys, let's turn it around and let's make this happen. You know, they're not indestructible. We're not going up against, you know, a pro league team. Although,
We're not going up against Vicious.
we're not going up against Vicious, but you know what? I mean, these guys at Aura have proven that they have some pretty solid strats and, of course, pretty solid execution up their sleeves, especially from Filthy, who, I mean, again, just been an absolute monster so far. But, you know, Chipsy Guac won that last round, and you want to take any guesses as to who the first person who went down in round number 3 was? That's right, folks. It was Filthy. And I think that that played a big factor into why that victory fell into the hands of Chipsy Guac, is because they were able to shut him down.
Yeah, that C70 of Jack was so powerful, especially in the first, like, 15 meters, which is normally whenever a gun, the average range of a gunfight. But Barracuda will be holding out Pink Bar here, and then Goni shutting down that, I think it was a goo mine, maybe? Coming out from Fozo. But Chipsy Guac will have a secure access through to Pink Bar. We're seeing how this plays out for Chipsy Guac. See if they can finally win their second round.
Well, it'll take a really solid shutdown of that attack from below, and getting droned out like that is not going to do you any favors, but Cloudstruck is also Cloudstruck's doing Aura some favors right now by rushing him with that Bearing 9 and only taking 1 pip of damage. See if Malachi can shut him down behind the bar. Great escape right there from Envy, timing himself perfectly. But meanwhile, the counterattack has begun on the defense. Bozo and Temper both picking up a quick kill. That's on the 2 big killers right now for these guys on Aura. Cloudstruck and Filthy are both down. And that means Malachi has got to back up and reconsider this approach again.
A bomb has been located.
Effective will go ahead and toss out a nade. Will it find Barracuda? It will not land any kind of damage onto him. Barracuda hopping over the bar. Fozo will meet Malachi. Malachi on 1 HP. Takes down Temper, going for a flank and a very nice shot. Sees Barracuda, but is not able to land the shot in time. Barracuda takes him down. It's now a 2v3. A minute left to go. 1v3 as I say that. Envy shuts down Goni. It's now all up to Affected to grab that diffuser. But can he see the legs? Does he think it's a dead body? He'll shut down Barracuda. It's now a 1v2 with Fozo on 1 HP. With Envy still alive and 3 gas grenades left in hand.
Bomb
This could spell
located by
trouble.
attackers.
Trying to peek up through the floor. Of course, he's not Buck, so he can't open up the floor. And that's great floor's lava play right there from NV2. He says, man, floor's destructible. I don't want to be anywhere near where I can get fragged and affected. Not looking up the stairs, and somebody is watching down. We'll see.
Some foes able to retreat away safely. Tosses a nade up. But that'll be instantly choked out by Envy's Toxic Babes. And Chipsy Guac will win 3 in a row here against Aura.
That's a sad little screen right there. Man,
That's a bit weird because the gas, he's not even in the gas, but he's still getting affected.
The smallest of fumes can deal the
That's-
greatest of damage.
That's really strange considering that the gas grenade was exploded at the platform, yet affected is at the bottom of the stairs. But either
That's
way,
Chris,
either way-
that's a little bit
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, man, that's a little bit like those stories where like somebody like falls off of like a 10-story building and they have like no injuries, and then it's like, oh yeah, this guy slipped on a curb and died. Like that's the dichotomy I just saw right there. It's like, man, you're gonna eat a grenade, you're gonna get shot by bullets, but like the tiniest little bit of smoke and you just
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for Affected that he wasn't
Attackers
able to
need
clutch
to
it out.
locate and defuse
But
bombs.
on the bright side for Chips, they're able to win 3 in a row here. Well, 2 in a row, I should say. At least tying things up. And let's hope that this doesn't affect them in the long run.
well,
No, I would really love to see a map 3.
dude, I would too. Map 3 situations are always insane. Like you can have your 2-0s and you can say, hey, you know, my team won, whatever, but we all know you love a nail biter. Everybody loves a good nail, but like if you look at like the greatest sets of all time, none of them are the one. I mean, like I think the sole exception to that was what we just saw at the
5
Invitationals,
seconds
and
left
it's not
before insertion.
because that grand finals was 3-0 in G2's favor. It's because
Attackers
that
recovered
first
the bomb
round,
diffuser.
that first
Attackers
map,
must
which was
locate and
Coastline,
defuse
by
the
the
bomb.
way, went, what was it, 22 rounds?
22
like,
rounds.
22 rounds a record. That you like seeing a long game because that builds up attention. I don't mean to get into psychology or nothing, but you know that's just how it works. But you know, maybe we're kicking in for a longer game here on Coastline because we are tied 2-2, and Aura has got to make the turnaround. They know where the bomb site is. They just need to get the attack online. Now, meanwhile, I do want to point out we are seeing the alibi come out on defense. A lot of people will point this operator out as a little bit unorthodox at times, but the fact that these guys have been able to lock down the roam so quickly and find the positions. I think the drone work has been surprisingly excellent from Aura. Getting those alibi clones out can really help you confuse the defenders and play a little bit of disruption tactic.
So Cloudstruck was rotating in through kitchen, almost meeting Temper at the bottom of the stairs.
Bomb
Temper will
located
retreat
by attackers.
onto the platform of the full vibe stairs. Malachi's running out. The bomb site. Zest has been let up to a little bit about half HP here. I think he might have gotten into an engagement with I don't even know who. I think maybe Cloudstruck, but I'm not sure. I can't even tell. But Malachi coming in through office, trying to situate what's happening here. He's already gone ahead and used one Ash Charge on that blue wall towards the bomb site. Things are coming out. Barracuda will shut down Filthy. It's very unfortunate given that Filthy's been the hot hand for Aura. But, it can't just be the Filthy show. His other 4 teammates need to step up and show that they can prove that, they can win without him.
That's been the key to success for Chipsy Guac right now, being able to shut them down. But speaking of stepping up, IGL, Goni, man, able to pick up that kill. We saw that was a problem for him on border, but he's got one now and picked up another, and he is in trouble right now. He's pulling out a combine in the middle of some toxic
C4 will
smoke.
actually miss from Barracuda. The plant will continuously go down. It'll actually be
Attackers are
planted
activating
here.
the diffuser.
So all Malachi has to do is just watch the crosshair, and that'll be Zest going in with peaks of Temper with one. But Malachi instantly shuts down Zest. It's now a 2v3 for the defenders, and they need a retake here.
Defenders have eyes on
Shots
the
coming out
diffuser.
onto
Attackers
Barracuda
need to protect
as
it.
he shuts down Goni. It's Malachi with 1 HP and affected in lobby. This could spell trouble with Temper trying to rotate around. Affected will shut him down in the courtyard. 1v2 scenario for Barracuda. Time's running low. 2/3 of the defuse cycle has gone out. Malachi coming around. He'll finally shut down Barracuda, and Aura will win their first round in 3 rounds, and they'll go up 3-2.
Yeah, quickly turning it around right there. And again, the positioning has been such a huge key, not being tethered down to any one particular place and being fluid. I mean, we see that a lot of strategies are built around keeping certain areas of the map secure because, of course, not all maps are created equal. Some places are better to sit in than others. You don't want to sit directly in the middle of Blue Bar or behind the couch in Blue Bar. You could be chilling out in Sunrise and, taking some quick peeks in from there behind the bar. I mean, that's why we see that one reinforcement behind the couch in Blue Bar and then leaving the other one soft, is so that the attackers won't be able to kill you from back there. You want to have your spots to stay, but the ability
Defenders,
to
protect
adapt
your
and
bombs
stay
from being
fluid
defused by attackers.
is one of the reasons that Gypsy Guac got shut down there. And more to note, why Aura was able to finish that out. You saw Barracuda trying to find, I think that was Malachi out in the office, and he was looking totally the wrong direction because he figured, okay, diffuser's down here, so this would be the tightest angle to hold, but Malachi was able to stay difficult to lock down, stayed fluid as water. And like you said, man, takes up Aura's first game in a little bit and keeps it from a 3-0 run for these guys on Gypsy Guac, who are going on to their last
5 seconds
defense,
left before
and we'll
insertion.
see if they are able to hold it down and go in even.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Yeah, it'd be a
Attackers are
really
moving
big
out to
boost for
locate a
Chips and
bomb
Guac
and
to
defuse it.
land a 3-3 half going into the next part of the round, because this map is although it's dubbed as attacker-sided, it's still a defender-sided meta.
It's an attacker-sided map with a defender-sided, or an attacker-sided map with a defender-sided meta, which equals.
Cloudstruck is going to shut down Fozo, taking some shots here from Zest out by the couch.
Except, man, 3-speed does wonders for peaks.
And unfortunately, that's Fozo as well as Elysian dead, so that's a huge loss. And Filthy shutting down with Jaeger Temper.
Attackers dropped the
With
diffuser.
Zest taking down Gunny, trying to find some light here, so he'll rotate back down the stairs and be forced to rotate into the lobby. Malachi going for some shots above through the floor. But I don't know if they know exactly that Zest is rotated down into the lobby. So with the hatch open, this could spell a very good proving point for Zest.
Yeah, he's been able to be somewhat rock steady so far. Of course, being able to stay alive as a Doc is big news. But speaking of big news, Envy finding that kill onto, I believe that's Malachi. But
wow!
Oh my goodness, he turned it around.
Envy is just insane up here. Finds 2 onto Malachi, and Cloudstruck, but that'll be Filthy tracking down Envy, who's rotated down the Cool Vibe stairs and rotated back into sight.
Once that Jackal track goes on to somebody on site, that's a waste of your resources, and you say, oh, man, I could have done better with that. But looks like Filthy's going to try to pick that up anyways. And, hearing those explosions starting to be a little bit of a concern to see if that sledge can back him up.
Filthy's just going into sight without any kind of intel at all. That'll be a very easy frag for Barracuda as he finally lands the last shotgun nail in the coffin. He's also affected here. He'll just instantly get fragged out by Barracuda.
Wow.
And Gypsy Guac move on into the second half. 3-3.
Again, that's exactly what you want to see on Coastline. That is considered a good defense. And they were able to pull it out there at the end. I mean, especially, pulling out the SAS boys, man. Getting those kills with the SMG-11s, the M590s. Hey, what's in the book, Sean? That's the question I'm asking at this point.
Very well said. So, moving on, we'll be tied 3-3 compared to the last map where it was a 4-2 split. And we'll be seeing the Chips and Guac move over to the attack as Aura moves over to defense. Filthy trading out that Valkyrie for a castle. Zest switching over to the Ying. And might I add, Zest is probably one of the best Yings that is underrated in NA. I'm pretty sure you haven't really seen Zest's Ying play. But if you give him Ying, it is almost over, because Zest will Ying sight, knows exactly where everyone's at, and just frag out everyone. It's unreal how good he is at Ying. So, given that Aura has not banned Ying, this could be bad news for them on this defense.
Now, you've got me excited, but I do want to remind you what happened the last time that Gypsy Guac went for rushes onto site. They got shut down really quickly by strong anchor games from your boys over on Aura.
10
And
seconds to insertion.
with that castle online to slow down the rushes, with the Echo Drone to disorient
seconds
Ying.
left before
Now, I'm not saying I doubt Zest at all. That is not what I'm saying. I totally
Cover their
believe him.
defuse.
But
There's
there's been danger in the water for rushes so far when it comes to Chipsy Guac. So we'll see if they're able to make that turnaround and make the rushes work. Then you got a guy like Zest, and I'm ready to see what kind of work he's going to put in. First of all, got to make sure you're not getting assaulted by nitro cells from below.
A
So
bomb
Filthy
has
was
been
spotted
located.
out. Cloudstruck taking a bit of damage here. I think that's Envy on Repel, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, it was Barracuda on the Repel, taking Cloudstruck down to about 60 HP here. But I think the one reason why we didn't see so much of the roam clear coming out working well for Zest a lot in the Chipsy Guac last time is because he finds one there onto Envy. It's also because Zest had to play hard breach. So with Zest on hard breach is a bit tough, but Temper going for some shots onto Filthy, not landing anything just yet. Malachi still playing around, coming around for Filthy with this protection. Filthy with the one tap, hello, onto Temper, takes down the Ash. Can he go for 3 here onto Zest? Malachi trying to provide cover, he shuts down Zest. After he frags out Filthy, Barracuda sitting outside of the blue bar window. It's a 2v4 for the attackers with 1:45 left to go, and things are just falling apart for Chipsy Guac.
That is unprecedented. That is the most aggressive roam I've ever
Attackers have
seen
located a
before.
bomb.
And you saw how good it was, too. Filthy was like, oh boy, I'm down on 1 health. Hey, Malachi, can you come down here and, you know, just get your butt off of Cool Vibe stairs and give me a hand real quick? And he said, sure thing, bro. And the moment he went down, he was able to get the refrag and take it to a 4-2 advantage for Aura, who are sitting pretty on site.
1:15 left to play and a ton of plant denial and intel. This is really rough for Chipsy Guac. I don't see them winning this round here unless the defenders on Aura get greedy and try to peek them one by one.
Well, I think that the other thing they may have going for them is that Affected is the only one that is watching them push in through Aquarium. Now, of course, being in Hookah, you have plenty of angles into Billiards. Barracuda's having trouble taking down that Yokai drone, and eventually he says, forget it, I'm going to try to kill all the people that are sitting behind Hookah and get this win.
So first toxic bait will come out from Goni as he's sitting behind Billy's bar. Plant is not going down just yet, but that smoke grenade going through the walls here will prevent Plant from going down. Barracuda on 1 HP behind the Billiard bar. In a lot of trouble. Malachi shuts him down, and Malachi with 2.
Whoa.
That'll be a 3K coming out from Malachi, and he shuts down Chipsy Guac with ease.
That's an aggressive play right there, too. Look at that. Malachi so quickly just popping into the chaos and adding into the mix that Chipsy Guac had to deal with. And in that last push, it certainly worked out. You gotta have a lot of confidence in your gun skill to pop into the middle of a gunfight like that and say, yep, there's a head, click, there's a head, click, and win your team the round. And I want to see more of Malachi on that Jaeger after that. I am not going to lie.
Yeah, just a quick shout out to Malachi. I love you, brother. I'm so proud of what you're doing so far in this Challenger League qualifier. You've been putting so much work, and I really hope that you make it in. I've been following him around for
Attackers
quite
need
a
to
while. I've been
locate
friends
and
with him
defuse
for
as
like
many
over
bombs
a
as
year.
they
I think.
can.
Just seeing him perform and shine. It's really nice. It's really nice to see.
Hey, you gotta give the shout outs to the homies, bro. Always gotta be behind your boys. That's that. And right now, I mean, that's being behind your boys. I just want to say that is certainly why Aura was able to win that last round, because especially the fact that Filthy got shut down, but then, I mean, so,
Attackers have
like you
located a
said,
bomb.
seeing that Ying is terrifying for Zest because he's so good at it, and being able to shut that down because Zest
10
said,
seconds
oh
left
man,
before
I
insertion.
gotta take Filthy out of the equation. I gotta make sure that this guy is
5
done
seconds to
so that I
insertion.
can push the site and this guy just doesn't immediately ace us. And the fact that Malachi
Attackers
was
recover
there
the
to get behind
diffuser.
his boy, you know, just like
Attackers
you're
are
getting
moving
behind
to
your boy
defuse the bomb.
Malachi. Malachi was behind his boy, able to give him some support and get the refrag, and then eventually just putting everybody behind him and saying, I'm going to go ahead and get those kills. And that was the story of round number 7. As we go into round number 8, the story may be that you are in danger on that main window and avoiding taking even a scratch.
Goni very fortunate not being on the wrong side of that reinforcement. And Barracuda just hitting nothing but solid metal through that wall.
want to talk about something solid? There is some solid speed going into the second floor clear. They do not want to waste any time clearing these guys out of here. But you gotta watch, because Filthy is on Cool Vibe stairs, and we've seen how adept he is when you put a gun in his hands. And an SMG-11 is as fully auto comes, but Envy wants to make the push, and flashbang, you're not landing shots on anybody no matter how good you are unless you're a bat.
Right, and I think trying to get a bit aggressive there, realizes it's not safe, so he falls back down to sight. Malachi will be posted up inside a kitchen. 45 left to play out. Zest still alive on 100 HP. The Zine could spell trouble for the defenders on Aura.
Chipsy Guac, man. Rushes and Chipsy Guac goes together like Chipsy Guacamole. Yeah, I would say just like that. Yeah. So it's been working out, at least especially this early into the round. Filthy's already gone, but now they've got to get onto the first floor with plenty of second floor control. It's just all about watching those flanks, and you get your boys with the strong power in. And speaking of strong power, we'll see if Zest is able to make it happen. Affected, gonna peek on through. That's not him getting that kill. Cloudstruck is also going to find one as well. And Malachi coming right around. Aura looking to shut down the rush once again. Zest is looking like he's in trouble, but so too is Goni. He gets a little bit too aggressive as Envy will take him down and gets control, at least somewhat, of Sunrise Bar, as Malachi and Struck are both upstairs. And we'll see if the rush works out. Zest, will he be able to find the kills? He's got no Candelas left. He's got to rely on his guns and his wits.
Malachi just comes strong there. Inside of Pink Bar. He finds Zest. Hello, but Envy will be there to shut him down. It's now a 1v1 with Affected and Envy, but Echo Drone still in play here from the Yokai. Envy will have to rotate into blue.
Yeah, that's why I don't like this rotation from Affected. Or do I like it? I think I enjoy it.
That is
but
rough
this
for
is...
Affected. Why didn't he play the Yokai? He could have just played the Yokai. It was in Pink Bar. Rotated through. And that's a throw. Big throw coming out from Affected. Use your utility before going for a peek. Wait until the final seconds. Try to get it into the site and disorient him from defusing that bomb. That's a massive waste coming out from Affected. He has the drone in play.
Getting a little greedy and getting a little jokey on the defense side too. Filthy says, yo, I've been shutting you down. Let me just put the fear in you of shutting you down hard. Goes back to the mute though. But man, the greed, I think, on the defense is not something that we have seen too much from Aura. They've been focusing on the solid anchoring, and when they have been on the room, they haven't been going for at least large volumes of huge peaks, although we did see a workout from Malachi, again, on that defense, round 7, man, running right into a hail of bullets to get yourselves the kills, so, I've been a couple of instances of some greedy plays, but that time really not working out for the defense. You gotta reconsider and just say, hey, you got your IGL, you gotta sit down and say, hey, get yourself together, focus on winning and not on, running up the score. You ain't counting.
10 seconds left.
Reflecting back on that last round, just a big throw coming out from Affected. I don't know if he knew that he had the Echo Drone in play, or if it was disoriented, or what. The attackers coming out from Chips didn't have the Thatcher. You have the utility to play out with it. Just use the utility before you go make the peak. I mean, it was a nice attempt, but just play smarter. Don't play dumb. It also comes down to probably nerves and just wanting to make a flashy play, or I think the reason why Filthy was on the Tachanka there is because he was yelling at Affected.
It's possible.
That's one possible reason. But either way, we'll see Cloudstruck on the white stairs here. And we'll go ahead and drone out the aquarium and billiards site area.
Man, this upstairs clear has worked out pretty well for Chipsy Guac so far. It's just all about how they can make that rotation back around the first floor. And it was real dicey for them in that last round that it was able to work out. But again, second floor controlled firmly in their favor as they are able to take down Goni from up top. And now Down goes
That is
affected.
those are two very big impact frags because it's all your plants now just off the board. Your smoke and your echo are dead. Why is affected peaking?
Your only anti-prank utility now is that nitro
no,
again. You
Malachi
have
going
to
for
question.
a very hard potato. Doesn't even land a down onto Envy. He'll pay the price.
You have to question the aggression, man. Gypsy Guac has been able to turn around on the aggression, but Filthy able to turn around for 1 kill. Don't know if he's going to be able to find more than that after this second, but damn it if he won't try. But once again, see that IQ getting once again another kill. Fozo doing so well of just watching those flanks. And man, it's time for Aura to change up the defense and play far less aggressively because it's the conservative defense that's been working out. And, you know, they got a round win out of the aggression. That's great. It was flashy. Everybody loved it, but you got to slow down now because Gypsy Guac is starting to roll.
Yeah, it was a bit of a very quick round to come out there from Chip's side of things. It's all started with Envy bucking from above and Hookah taking down Goni through the floorboards. And I think Goni thought he could land the frag, but instead of playing it safe and running away, decided to challenge and paid the price for it. And of course, it's really unfortunate to see that Malachi didn't even get it down and just potatoed maybe 90% of his shots onto Envy. I think he only landed maybe 2 onto the buck, pushing in through the billiards and straight it out from Fozo on the roof.
I mean, and that's what he's saying, right? Is that, you know, sometimes you don't want to challenge the people that already have the initial advantage on you. Malachi was already shooting at the buck, and so Buck says, all right, I'm going to continue running away in the direction that I was going so I can get around this corner, and then turn around and get the kills on Malachi as he now has to reload because he messed up his shots. And, you know, you're in a good position because you didn't overextend and put yourself in a bad situation. Bad situation is what Aura's got to dig themselves out of now. Because they're down 5-4 and defense has got to start rolling.
A quick update here on the scoreline. Something is the first. I'm sorry. Vicious versus Something is the first match to finish up, and Something loses. I'm sorry. Vicious wins 14-3. So it was a quick 2-0 for Vicious.
Unsurprising if you're that.
Yeah, he was the number 1 seed against the number 16 seed, and they had some roster changes going into it. And they didn't really have a whole ton of practice with that new roster, so it's I guess you could say it's not expected, or it is expected.
Certainly expected to see Vicious taking games. Yeah. I don't know what to expect out of the rest of this though. Malachi, is he gonna get? He gets aggressive again, and Fozo will punish him again for getting aggressive when he's down on that 1 health and made him pay for it. Now the Castle and the Jaeger are down and they're falling apart, man. Aura is starting to fall apart due to, I think, sort of what we saw in Gypsy Guac doing on Border, is they're just leaning in a little bit too much. They're doing the game early. They're going in too hard, and they're getting punished for just wanting to get those kills out of the way and reset the momentum.
Yeah, I feel like Malachi probably would have played it a little safer had he gone for a bit of a more passive pick. But Affected's going to get super aggressive and pay the price. Why are you peeking out onto Zest on the hookah balcony? You're Echo. You're the most important piece of utility on the defense. Stop getting so aggressive and making these plays. There's no point in making them.
There's going to have to be a little bit of a sit down with that Echo there after this, but not if Goni has anything to say about it. 2 kills online right now, and he's going to stuff out that approach and make his rotation into billiards where the attack is happening, but runs right into the asphyxiating bolt. I would say that Goni is a little dead.
Well, that's interesting. You see the smoke bolt coming out from the, you see a firebolt coming out from the smoke loadout.
Visual effects aside, man.
Yeah, so either way, this is looking really bad for Aura. They've lost, I think maybe 3 in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
It's tough for them.
Yeah,
I think
it's 3 in a row. It's 3 in a row because they were up 4-3 and then they're now at 4-6.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's your quick mass with Uzumaki.
Yeah, had a little bit of help from Big Shaq.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my god, dude! My buddy, my static co-caster actually for Smash, neighbor. We were driving up to a tournament in Oklahoma the other weekend, and he showed me that for the first time. I thought that was just, but he showed me the whole video, and I was like, oh my god, I can't understand half of the stuff.
Attackers
this
need to
dude said.
locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah.
I can't understand half of the stuff that's going on in this match, because I mean, Aura started off so strong, right?
Yeah.
Aura started off extremely strong. They looked like they had control, especially after Border. Looked like they were just going
Bomb
to start
located
rolling
by
through
attackers.
Chippy Block, and then all of a sudden, you know, when the momentum got turned around on them, they just wanted to keep pushing back and pushing forward, and you know, especially, you know, seeing that Echo go for 3 really aggressive plays when he should be playing
That was
back.
really stupid. I'm gonna put it out there. That's affected being dumb, trying to make a play that doesn't need to happen, and
seconds
he's
left.
paying the price against it. It reminds me of Nyx when he first joined
Attackers have recovered their
DZ,
diffuser.
who was forming him as
Attackers are
SK at the
moving to
time.
defuse a bomb. The attacker's bomb diffuser has
And it
been
was
dropped.
just a
Attackers
really
recovered
bad
the bomb
showing from
diffuser.
Nyx because he was making really dumb plays as Echo. He thought he could out-peak these pros, and granted, these pros, they're trying to make it into Challenge League, but it's just dumb play after dumb play after dumb play, and it's just reminding me so much of how Nyx used to play. But Nyx, he's calmed himself down with the coaching coming out from BC and Bacon. It's really helped him out a lot, and he's really progressed as a player. But affected, barely turned 18 on February 3rd, and it's just tough to see these plays happening.
You gotta have somebody to throw the reins on somebody like that, man. You gotta slow them down when they're getting in like that. But you are not slowing down Zest at any time. Filthy tries to do it himself, and now Zest once again catching that aggressive peek from Malachi. 2 entry kills, and maybe looks for a 3rd in the courtyard as he puts down some suppressive fire and says, "Envy, get a sight line on that man." But it's Barracuda that will
all
do so.
falling apart for Aura. This is horrible.
This is looking like the exact reverse of what we saw on Border, dude.
Uh-huh.
Because
Envy is gonna miss.
Drawing crack.
You know what happens now? How Effective is going to get too aggressive, trying to turn the game around, and it's going to be down to Goni. And maybe he just gets overwhelmed in a 1v5 situation. But yeah, once again, coordinated rushes come out effectively. Zest having a nice little round for himself as Chipsy Guac were able to take map number 2, Coastline, their map. And just an effective showing of what happens when you can slow the game down and control the pace of play. And they had Aura running at them wild, and that's why we're going to the decider on map number 3.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate to see Chipsy Guac. I'm sorry, not Aura just lose like that. But we'll be having a 1-minute break for on the Chip side, and that'll actually give me time to go to the bathroom because I've been needing to go since the beginning of that match. So let me just go ahead and flip the screen here real quick.
Yeah, catch a quick break. We'll see you guys for map number 3, baby.